One of the most difficult aspects of Chinese food if you're vegan or vegetarian is the fact that meat often plays a background role in Chinese food. It's there, but it's hidden. It's in the sauce or in the stock, or it's just a textural element to the dish, and it's not that obvious piece of protein that we often find in Western food. In Chinese food, it might just be one or two ingredients in a recipe, and they can transform the dish. So when you take them out, the dish just isn't what it should be. In our limited appreciation of Chinese food in the West, one of the most common ingredients we come across is oyster sauce. It adds that delicious salty, sweet, umami flavour to a dish, and it also gives a luxurious mouthfeel thanks to that cornstarch thickened texture it has. It's in so many stir fries, but fortunately it's very easily replaced. In this video I'll show you a very simple method to make a delicious oyster sauce replacement, which I would say gives even more depth and complexity to your dish. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, or you're just trying to reduce the number of animal products in your diet, give this one a try. It's so simple, it's something that can stay around in your fridge for a good couple of weeks, and it will transform your stir-fry dishes without having to use any animal products whatsoever. The first step is to soak your dried mushrooms. I'm using dried shiitake mushrooms, but dried porcinis or mixed mushrooms would work really well too. Add boiling water to the mushrooms and let them soak for a minimum of 2 hours. Once the mushrooms have soaked and the liquid has cooled, pass it through a muslin cloth or a fine sieve to make sure you strain out any dirt that may be on the mushrooms. Squeeze them to make sure all the liquid is out, and then pour the liquid into a saucepan and reduce it by about a third. So I've reduced it now by about a third, and I've just given it a little taste. Yeah, so that's now a really quite intense mushroom broth with no additional flavouring at this point. So now we're going to add in the Marmite and the sugar, bit by bit. Marmite works really well here because not only is it salty, but it also has a rich umami flavour. It adds a depth and a meatiness which you lose by not using the oysters in the sauce. So if you have a jar at home, I'd really recommend trying this. I also use brown sugar in this, rather than granulated or caster sugar, as this adds further depth of flavour, but regular sugar works absolutely fine if that's what you have. After adding the sugar, you want to thicken the sauce further by using corn flour or cornstarch. To do this, take a little bit of the sauce out of the pan and add it to a small bowl, and whisk in about a teaspoon of cornstarch. If you add the cornstarch directly to the pan, it won't whisk in properly and you'll get a really lumpy sauce that won't thicken. Repeat the process as necessary, adding a small amount of cornstarch as you go, until you have a thick sauce, about the consistency of a caramel. Once the sauce is thickened, give it a taste. Remember that it's used diluted into dishes, so the flavour should be more intense than is palatable simply by itself. Pass it through a sieve one more time to make sure it's extra smooth, and the sauce is done. This is a great recipe if you enjoy making stir fries but want to avoid animal products. If there are other vegan alternatives that you'd like me to try out, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video.